Hello everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Ohioman, and welcome to my weekly news and video roundup. So, the main thing I'm going to be talking about this week is PlayStation 4, because they announced it on Wednesday, and notice how I said announce and didn't say reveal, because there's a very fine difference between those two things. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about one thing that was announced this week that's not Sony related. Harmonix, who makes the Rock Band series, they announced that they're going to be stopping the weekly DLC they're releasing for Rock Band. Which is pretty big news because they've been releasing new content every week for 5 years. And they've got a library of over like 4,000 songs. I think it's like almost 4,500 at this point. And I'm not sure if that's including the Rock Band Network, where it's like people can like make their own songs. Not make their own songs, but like bands can take their songs and chart them and just release them to Rock Band. But yeah, they announced that they're going to be stopping the weekly DLC, and they said that they might not stop the DLC forever, but they don't have any plans in the foreseeable future to release new ones. It's going to be ending April 2nd, that's going to be the last day, and they said they have a song that they think will be fitting for, like, the final day. I personally think it's going to be American Pie, because, like, the day of the music died and all that stuff, so I think that would be a pretty fitting closer to the Rock Band DLC. They did say that it's not going to be the end of Rock Band forever, but they want to focus on other projects right now, and for now, Rock Band is going to be like just not almost like on the back burner. Like they'll come back to it eventually, but for now, that's not like their priority, which is fine. I mean, 5 years straight of continuous DLC every week, that is a feat that I don't think anybody was anticipating. So good on them. I think it's fine that they're ending now. They've got enough songs that I don't think people can complain about them stopping. Anyway, let's get on to the news that you all been waiting for. PlayStation 4. So they announced it. They said it exists. It's coming out the holiday season, so it is coming out this year. They showed the controller, the DualShock 4. It's going to have like a light on the top, and it's got the motion sensing, of course. There's going to be a touchscreen on it, and also a social button, which is going to allow you to, I think, like post pictures to Facebook. You can even like record clips from like your recent gameplay and upload those. So pretty much what they're saying is that there's going to be like a massive skyrocketing of just gaming clips on YouTube. The system is going to be coming bundled with the PlayStation Eye, which is going to be almost like a Kinect type thing, I think. Because it has like 2 cameras on it, and it says that it can recognize players and stuff like that. So I'm assuming it's going to be connected to the controller, and it'll like test like where the controller is, and it should be able to like detect movement. I think the controller is going to be almost like a Move built in, like the PlayStation Move. I think that's going to be almost built into the new controller, so that could be pretty cool. It'd be awesome to see like what game developers are going to do with that. Although it could just be another gimmick, like the motion control in the original DualShock 3 controller. As for the hardware specs, they released a lot of mumbo jumbo, like 1.8 teraflops for like the graphics card or something like that. All you have to know is that it's going to have it's a much more powerful system. Like the graphics won't be like a super leap, like from the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, there was like a massive leap. It's not going to be that big, but the game, at least at launch, the graphics are going to look like a super high-end PC. So it's still going to look fantastic compared to like the current consoles. But what I'm curious to see is like, if you look at games that were like first came out, like with the 360, Condemned, if you look at Condemned and then look at Halo 4, like, what, like 6-7 years apart? That's like a massive leap. So I want to see what the games are going to look like about 5 or 6 years down the road. Then we'll see what the true capability of like these new systems are. And one feature that they also announced, which was pretty interesting, is you can stream live gameplay to like your friends, which could be cool because I can already see like 2 purposes of that. One, if you have like a friend like, oh, I don't know if I want to get that game, just be like, oh yeah, I got it. So just watch me play for a little bit and see if you want him to get it. That'd be kind of cool. And also, like, if you have the game that, like, you beat and your friend's playing it now and he's stuck on a part, you could be like, oh, hold on, just start streaming the game. And you could just watch and be like, okay, you gotta do this, that, and you can actually, like, help your friend through the game if needed. Which will be pretty damn helpful. I mean, I'm sure people are gonna, like, come up with services now, like, give me money and I'll help you get through a game, which I'm sure that's bound to happen eventually. The one thing that I wasn't too, like, keen on was they said they got rid of backwards compatibility. So, I mean, I was kind of expecting that to happen, but it still sucks knowing that you can't. But they did say that they hope to eventually plan to, like, stream, like, the entire PlayStation catalog. Almost like what they're doing PlayStation 3 now, how they have, like, PlayStation games on the PlayStation Network. They want to do that, but with, like, all the PlayStation games. So if they could get that up and running where like you could just buy or stream like any PlayStation game that you want, then I think I'll be happier with it instead of like not being able to play them at all. Another thing they mentioned was that you'll be able to play games as you're downloading them, which should be interesting. Like, you don't have to wait for a game to finish downloading anymore to play it, which I'm curious to see how that works, because I thought that you had to have like a full game downloaded in order for it to play, but I guess not. But while we're talking about downloading games, they said that PlayStation Network purchases aren't going to carry over, which I think is kind of stupid and going to piss people off. Because it's not like it's a disc that you have to read, it's digital content that's already on your marketplace. So why shouldn't some of that stuff carry over? Like, I can see like game add-ons maybe for like games. I am handling myself really well right now with this cat. But I don't see why like PlayStation Network games can't carry over. I mean, it's all digital, and you could have at least tried to get that working. As for games that were announced with the system, they announced a new Killzone. Bungie announced that the Destiny's coming to PlayStation 4, although we already kind of knew that. Square Enix announced that they're coming out with a new Final Fantasy game, which I'm hoping is Final Fantasy Versus 13, or at this point, I don't even think they should call it that. I think they should just call it Final Fantasy 15, because if they say like Final Fantasy 13, it'll be like, oh great, another one of those games. But if they say Final Fantasy 15, it'll give like people like, oh yeah, hopefully this is better than 13 and stuff like that. So I think they'd be better off doing that. And besides, the gameplay they released for Versus 13, like in the past, it looked like it could have been a PlayStation 4 game. Hello, Mrs. Bigglesworth. Okay, hi. I can't deal with this cat. They also showed gameplay for Watch Dogs, which they had showed at E3, but they showed more gameplay. That game is looking fantastic. I am thoroughly excited for it. Like, it looks like, if you've seen the TV show Person of Interest, it looks almost like the video game version of that. Like, he's just walking around his cell phone and he sees like people's IDs and profiles showing up. Like, he got a guy's credit card number from his phone, and then he went to an ATM right next to the guy and just took money out of his bank account. So the game looks freaking awesome. So I'm thoroughly looking forward to that. But the one game that got me the most excited was they announced Infamous Second Son. It's going to be the third game in the Infamous series, which I'm extremely curious to see how they're going to do that. Because if you've beat Infamous 2, like, this new game has like a new hero and like a new setting. So I don't know if they're going to have like, it's going to be like an entirely separate like story and universe from Infamous 1 and 2. Almost like what it seems like BioShock Infinite is doing. Because if you beat Infamous 2, you know that no matter what ending you chose, this game really shouldn't be possible. But, so, I'm wondering if it's either going to be a prequel, or they're going to work some like Deus Ex Machina crap and just like say, oh yeah, no, this game does take place as a sequel. Or if it's, like I said, going to be like an entirely separate story, which would be cool. If like the Infamous, like every 1 and 2 games, they just changed everything entirely, like new characters, new story. That could work for the Infamous series. Since it's like based around superheroes, all you really knew is just come up with like new superpowers and stuff like that. So, that should be interesting. And you're probably all wondering what the PS4 looks like, and so that's why I'm going to post a picture right here of what it looks like. It's wonderful, right? Go ahead, just imagine whatever you want it to look like, because they never released what it fucking looks like at the fucking press conference. I mean, I understand, you want to save some stuff for E3, but don't make like such a big deal about revealing the PS4 and don't actually reveal the console. That was a big foop on their part. They should have said like a big announcement coming up. Instead they were like, oh, big reveal, blah blah blah. People were disappointed, to say the least. I mean, I understand, like I said, save stuff for E3, that's important. That's like the big gaming thing, but don't try to get people's hopes up like that. And that's all the news I got for you this week, so thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below about your thoughts on the PlayStation 4 or anything else for that matter. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Oh, and the Oscars are on tonight, so be sure to watch and root for Jennifer Lawrence to win Best Actress. Or else.